I'm Maheshika Halbeisen, and this is the Queen Elizabeth Leadership Podcast, the show where we discuss the leadership lessons from the book, The Job Well Done, The Queen's Way to Successful Leadership.
Okay, so, imagine, right? You get this job offer, super important job. But the catch, no quitting. Ever. You're in it for life. No retirement, nothing. Crazy, right?
Intense.
That was the Queen's reality, though, 24/7 for her entire reign. We're diving deep into that legendary work ethic today.
Her dedication was incredible.
Using Chapter 2 of this book, The Job Well Done by Dr. Maheshika Halbeisen, it's fascinating stuff.
It really is, yeah.
If you had to run a country tomorrow, where would you even start?
Right.
This chapter tackles that, but through the Queen's actions.
Absolutely, and it highlights what Dr. Halbeisen calls the sheer magnitude of her responsibilities. It wasn't just being queen either. It was head of state, Church of England, leader of the Commonwealth, head of the armed forces.
Whoa, hold on. How did she even, it's like the ultimate juggling act, those responsibilities.
It really is. And it wasn't just symbolic either, which is what Dr. Halbeisen stresses. She had actual, tangible duties for each of those roles.
Right. It's like that saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown, except she was wearing about 5 crowns at once.
Exactly. And she took each one seriously. Take those famous red boxes, right? Full of government documents.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 pictures.
Dr. Halbeisen mentions that she read those every morning, religiously. By 8 a.m., she was already digging into those things and not just skimming, really absorbing the information.
Wow.
And this wasn't just a young queen thing, by the way. She kept that up into her 90s.
Talk about starting your day with, serious brain food. Reminds me of that quote. I think it was the Queen herself who said it. Work is the rent you pay for the room you occupy on earth.
It's a good one.
It's one thing to say it, but she really lived it, every single day.
It really shows you it was beyond discipline for her, almost like a core belief, woven into everything she did. It wasn't just a job, it was her purpose, And you see that reflected in her schedule. Dr. Halbeisen points out that even at age 89, she still carried out something like 341 engagements.
341.
In a year, that's what he says, yeah. To put that in perspective, that's more events than many of us attend in a decade.
No kidding. It really makes you think, right? Could I keep up that pace, even if it was just, social events?
And it wasn't just showing up, right? That's the thing.
Right.
Dr. Halbeisen really emphasizes the Queen's genuine interest in the people she met. There's that anecdote in the book about her remembering this flower girl from an event decades earlier.
Yeah.
Decades.
No way.
I know, right? It blew my mind.
I can barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Exactly. And it wasn't just remembering their face, but engaging with them on a personal level.
Wow.
It makes you wonder how she did it, right? After meeting thousands, tens of thousands of people over the years.
To make each person feel seen like that, that's a superpower or something.
Totally. And it kind of ties into what Dr. Halbeisen talks about later in the book. He compares the Queen's work ethic to those of other high achievers, people like Tony Robbins or Michael Jordan, for example.
Oh, interesting. So, are their work ethics similar to the Queen's?
It's more like each person exemplifies a different aspect of it,
Okay, that makes sense.
Take Michael Jordan, right? Natural talent, obviously, yeah. But what made him legendary was that dedication, that relentless practice, honing his craft. It's the same principle with the Queen and leadership, I think.
She treated it as a skill to be developed, practiced it every day for decades.
Exactly.
And speaking of dedication, you mentioned Tony Robbins.
Oh, right. Yeah, Tony Robbins.
He's all about turning your hardships into, a way to help others.
Right. Using his platform to make a difference.
It reminds me of the Queen using her position to champion all those causes,
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't just duty for her, I don't think, but a real belief in using her influence to, lift people up.
Definitely. It's a powerful thing to see in action.
And it's not just, superstars like that, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Halbeisen even mentions Elon Musk, way back when he was first starting out, sleeping in the office just to, make things happen.
Oh, totally. It's that whole whatever it takes mindset, you know?
Exactly.
And the Queen, her office was the whole world, right?
Sure.
Her sacrifice was that constant public duty. It's a good reminder that even these iconic figures, they start somewhere. And usually it involves a lot of, grit and long, long hours.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy to just see, the success, the legacy, the final product and think, wow, amazing. But This chapter really makes you realize it's the everyday grind, the showing up day after day, no shortcuts.
Exactly. Consistency is key.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes you think, though, what could we achieve if we brought that level of dedication to our own lives?
Yeah.
Even if it's not like running a country or a huge company.
Yeah.
The principle is the same.
Absolutely. We've all got our own mountains to climb, but I think this all ties back into purpose, right? That's the fuel.
That's so true.
The Queen's why, that deep sense of duty, service to her people, it wasn't about checking boxes. It was bigger than that.
Yeah, and you can feel that in everything she did, And that's what's so amazing to me reading this. She never really seemed to waver, did she? Even in those final years, it's a powerful legacy.
It really is. And Dr. Halbeisen actually ends on kind of a tough question, I thought. How do you avoid burnout when you're operating at that level for decades? It's something we all deal with, even on a smaller scale.
Totally. It's like, how do you keep that fire going?
Right.
That passion, but also that dedication. Without burning out, it's tough.
It is. It's a balancing act, for sure. But I think the Queen's life, it gives us a framework, at least. A place to start.
It does. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Finding your own why and then figuring out how to, really commit to it for the long haul.
Exactly. Well said.
Well, on that note, I think we've done our deep dive for today.
I think so.
It's been amazing, as always, getting into this with you.
Likewise. Always a pleasure.
To everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. It's been, it's been inspiring, to say the least. And until next time, remember, find your purpose and chase it relentlessly.
Are you ready to elevate your leadership to new heights? Learn from the Queen? Follow us on this podcast and get your copy, The Job Well Done, The Queen's Way to Successful Leadership. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search Maheshika Halbeisen and tell me how the Queen has inspired you.